Coming at you live from Studio H, this is the Bobcat Blast. Please stand for pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now for the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Please remain standing for a moment of silence.
Good morning, Hallsville High School. Welcome back to school. We're glad you guys are here. We hope you all had a wonderful summer. I'm Mr. Gibson, your principal. This is
Amanda Clark. I'm your academic coordinator.
Right on. And so we're here today to bring you a little bit of information about this school year. We're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to give you small segments of information each day over the announcements this week. And then instead of calling you down for class meetings and saying the same thing 4 times, we're going to cover it with everybody like this in smaller chunks. So with that said, we're going to start out and just talk about this school year and our expectations for you guys, okay? One of the things you're going to hear us say a lot this year is talk about Bobcat Pride. And here's what PRIDE stands for: personal responsibility in delivering excellence. That's our expectation for everyone on this campus, including the adults, students, cafeteria, custodians, myself, everybody, right?
Everybody.
Because we can all take our own responsibility to deliver excellence every day. Are we going to bat 1,000 on that? Probably not, okay? But that doesn't mean we don't try again the next day, guys. Okay, so you're going to hear more about that as the year goes on, but that is something that we're going to push a lot. Our vision on our campus is that we grow all learners to achieve excellence, and that means everybody, all of you. That's our expectation, that we're going to grow this year in our education and as people, and we're going to have a great year here at Hallsville High School. All right, with that said, let's just talk some general expectations for the school year. Every one of us in this building want to be respected, period, no matter who you are. So that's what we're big on, guys, big on respect. We're going to give you respect. We expect it in return, okay? We can work through a lot of things if we're having rough days and things like that, but we're going to keep things cordial. We're going to be respectful of one another. All right, I'm not going to yell and scream at you guys, and I expect you to not do the same to me or anyone else on this campus. If you're having problems with someone, we expect to have conversations about that. You need to come to us, talk to us, and let us help you with that instead of trying to take matters into your own hands, okay? Respect goes a long way, and so in the event that something does happen and someone gets heated and they get disrespectful, okay, we're just going to apologize. We're going to shake hands. We're going to move on. That's the big one, guys. Be respectful. If you do that, it'll take you a long way in life. All right. The other thing is, guys, take care of your school. That's something that's really important to us. We all have to share this space. This doesn't belong to any of us. So we want to make sure that you're taking care of your school. If you see something that needs to be fixed or corrected, please say something to somebody so we can get that done. We have about 1,700 people that come up here every day to use this building, and it's used on nights and weekends. It's used all the time. So we all have to do our part in being respectful of our space that we all share, okay? I want the bathrooms to function like they should and not be shut down because people are putting stuff in the toilets or messing things up or vandalizing them. It's not fair to everyone else. So make sure you're taking care of your space. Make sure you're being respectful. And if you do what you're asked to do, it's going to be a good school year. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room, meaning cell phones. I know that's a big concern for everybody in the building. We've spent a lot of time talking about it this summer. For those of you who have seen, we've put out communication about the guidelines. So the state of Texas passed the law, House Bill 1481, that prohibits students from using cell phones during the school day. So let me tell you what that's going to look like on our campus, okay, guys? The way we define school day was from the beginning of the first bell to the last bell. That includes passing periods, lunch periods, and everything. That's what the law says. It includes that amount of time. So what we've decided to do on our campus is it's not just cell phones, okay? It includes cell phones, smartwatches, tablets, earbuds, personal laptops, or any other communication device. Those things are prohibited, and it's a law. This isn't Mr. Gibson making it up like I have in the past, saying, hey, you can't have them, you got to put them in a pocket in class. It's the law now, so we're going to abide by the law. We're going to follow it. So at 7:35, 5 minutes before the first bell, you're going to hear a siren type sound. I didn't really hear it this morning. But we'll work on that. And basically that's the 5-minute warning. If you have your phone out, in the morning before school starts, okay, but when you hear that siren, we need you to turn it off and put it out of sight. So let me define out of sight, okay? We don't want to see it or hear it. If it's in your pocket and I can see the outline of it, I can see that you have a phone. And now every time you ask to go to the restroom, now we're having a conversation about cell phones, which I don't want to have. Okay, so out of sight means it's out of sight. It's in a bag. It's in something that someplace you have it stored where it's turned off. It's not going to make noise and nobody can see it. And then that way, when you need to go to the restroom, you just leave that bag in the classroom, and then we're not having conversations around cell phones. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the expectation. You hear the 7:35 siren, warning, whatever. It's going to be a unique sound. Turn your phone off, put it away. When the bell rings to go to class at 7:40, that's when the adults will start taking cell phones if we see them, or smartwatches, or any other of the other devices listed, okay? I'll talk about consequences in just a second, but if an adult approaches you and asks for your device, it's best to cooperate. If you refuse to cooperate, there's going to be additional consequences that come into play for being defiant, okay? It's not about that cell phone or device as much anymore as it is about you being defiant with what the adults are asked to do, and they're just trying to enforce the laws, guys, okay? So once your device gets turned in, here's what we're going to do this week, guys, okay? And teachers, this is a little bit of news to you as well, but we're going to start taking up phones after these announcements. We're going to start taking up devices, okay? Now, when they get turned in this week, students, we need to practice taking them up and turning them in, and our whole procedure for that, and you need to acclimate to not having them. So what we're going to do this week is you guys will get your device back at the end of the day, okay? Now, that's the only time that will happen. Starting next week on Monday the 18th, the consequences that we put out will start being enforced, and what those consequences are is this. Every time your device gets taken up, your parents are required to come pick the device up. Here's why we're doing that, okay? It's not to be mean to your parents or inconvenience them. When I was your age, if I did something I wasn't supposed to, I might not tell my parents. So that first time, if your phone gets taken up or whatever your device is, and you don't tell your parents, and then the second time it happens, we're telling them you're an ISS, they're going to be upset that they didn't know. So the consequences go like this. Starting next Monday, your phone gets taken up. Your parents will receive a talking point message letting them know that your phone was taken up, and then they can come pick it up whenever they want to. They can wait as long as they want to, okay? But they can come the next day, later that day, whenever. After they get that message, they're free to come up between the hours of 8 and 3 or 8 and 3:30 to pick up your phone. Now, second consequence, parents have to come again and you get ISS. I believe it's 2 days. Third consequence, parents come pick up your phone, 3 days ISS. Fourth consequence is, I think, 5 days ISS. And then after that, we're talking DAP if you're habitually on your phone, on your device. Nobody wants to do that. I don't want a single kid to have to go to ISS for a cell phone this year. I hope I get my wish. That's not up to me. It's up to all of us, okay? So I know it's going to be hard for you guys. We've had a lot of conversations about that, okay? We're just enforcing the law that was put out. We're not trying to be mean about it. We expect your cooperation with it, okay? The best thing that can happen is you just turn your device off, put it away, and then after the bell at 3:39, you guys are free to get back on your devices, check your messages, do whatever you need to do. In the event of an emergency, you're going to communicate to whatever teacher you're with or to the office, and we're going to do things that we need to do to communicate with your family and your parents, okay? If your parents have an emergency, they can call the office, and we're going to get those messages to you. Now, if it's not an emergency and they just need you to have some information, you may not get it right that minute, but you'll get it before the time's needed. For example, if it's 9 o'clock and your parent calls and says, oh, I had something come up at the end of the day and I need James to ride the bus today. Okay, you may not get that at 9:05, but before the end of the day, you'll get that message. You'll know to ride the bus, and that, your parent called and let us know that, okay? We have a plan for passing out messages to you all. So please, we're going to send something out and let your parents know about the cell phone policy. Just remind them again. So please go over this information with them. Students, if you have flex at the end of the day, okay, and you're walking down the hall to go to the parking lot and you pull out your cell phone and you get on it, it may be the end of your day, but it's not the end of our school day. So until you're in the student parking lot, you don't need to get on your phone. And then when you do, check all your messages before you put your car in drive, okay? So don't start texting and driving because you haven't had your phone all day. So just remember that. Don't check it on the mall hall because I don't want you to get it taken up when you're trying to get off campus, okay? All right. Let's talk about vapes. They also changed the law about vapes, not making it where they went backwards and said it's not mandatory for DAP. That's what the state said, but Hallsville's saying it's still mandatory. We're not changing our DAP policy for vapes. So if you get caught with a vape on campus, you're still going to go to DAP just like last year, okay? Nicotine vapes, there'll be a graduated thing where you go, you're suspended and then you go for 7 days on the first time, and then it escalates the different times that you get caught with that, okay? If it includes something that's considered a controlled substance, then you're going to go for a lot longer. So guys, leave those things at home, okay? Don't bring them up here because I don't want you not at school. Last thing we're going to talk about today, and then we're done. You guys are doing great listening to me. We're going to talk about dress code. And I brought Miss Clark to help me with dress code because she's passionate about dress code. And so I'll just say a few general things, then she's going to talk some specifics because some of these terms, I don't even know what those clothing, there's a term called the tunic. The teachers had to teach me what a tunic was, ladies. I didn't even know what that was, so. All right, so all students are expected to follow dress code. You'll be required to change into our clothes, okay? That's our solution. If you're out of dress code, hey, you can change into this and get back to class. And so, and then once again, anytime it turns into defiance, it escalates to something more if you refuse. So cooperate with the adults when we're asking you to do things, and things will be okay. All right, go ahead with the ladies, and I'll circle back to the guys.
Good morning. So basically, our dress code has not changed from last year. The short skirts, the short shorts, no. And when I say short, mid-thigh, we've got to make sure we are delivering excellence in our clothing, because everything that we do is centered around that personal responsibility in delivering excellence. Your leggings, ladies, if you wear leggings, make sure you wear a long shirt to cover up. Or, yes, a long shirt to cover up the area that, cover up. Cover up. The holes in jeans, mid-thigh, not up high. And if like Mr. Gibson said, if a staff member comes to you and says, hey, you're out of dress code, let's go to the office, let's fix it, it's because you're out of dress code. Ladies, your tops, those straps, the spaghetti straps, those are a no. Put your 3 fingers up there and see if they cover. These shirts that come off the shoulder, you need something up under that, not just a bare shoulder walking around the campus. All right, so let's cover up. Excellence is our motto. Let's do that, and let's be excellent in everything we do, from the way we dress to what we do within the classroom.
All right.
Back to you.
So also on dress code, if you wish to wear a baseball style hat, that's the only thing allowed on your head. Anything else, you can't wear it, okay? I've already seen a few things today, and outside of here, if I see you with that, I'm going to be like, hey, how you doing? But up here, it's baseball hats only. The reason we chose baseball hats is because no matter who you are, gender, race, whatever, everybody can wear a baseball style hat, okay? So that's the reason we felt like that was the most broadly covered headwear, and so that's why we chose that. All right. Also, guys, I love that the baggy pants are coming back in style from the 90s. I get it. That's cool. All right, but make sure you have a belt and keep them up where they're supposed to. I don't know if the sagging is going to come back with them. I hope not, because that was terrible, but just get them up there where they belong, okay, so we don't have any of that kind of business going on. Other than that, there may be some other little nuances that we need to cover. We're going to do this every day, and I don't want to make it too long, so we're going to wrap that up. Teachers, if there's something that was not covered today and you're like, oh, remind them about this, I'll be here all week, okay? So we'll do it again. But I know that was a lot of don't do this, don't do that. I hate talking at you guys, but you have to know the information. All right, students, I expect this to be the best year we've had yet. Seniors, if you're a senior, congratulations. You made it to your senior year. Now you got to make it through your senior year, okay? So just because you're there doesn't mean you're there yet, all right? Freshmen, welcome to the high school. Sophomores and juniors, we're glad you're back. A year older, you're wiser. It's going to be a great year. I've got a lot of exciting things planned that we'll release to you and talk about later on. And with that said, go Bobcats.